and hello, good afternoon. My name is Rich Coleman, and yes, you are at the Prevention Corner, and we are excited about what we're bringing to you with this teaser. We have an amazing opportunity to share with you information about not only a number of great musicians connected to an incredible project, Prince, Welcome to America. Why is this one so important and special to me and my family, particularly my twin brother and his wife Lottie, is that my nephew Chris Coleman is on this project playing drums. Chris was a part of this project back in 2010. During our interview, we talked extensively about not only how it all came about and came to fruition, but also how this whole process worked with being there at Paisley Park Studios with Prince. One of the things that I found that was really cool when you're looking at the album, and I got my copy. It took a couple stores to go to get my copy, but you can see in the credits with Prince, Tal Winkfield, the bass player, and Chris Coleman. That a young man is having now the time of his life because, to be honest with you, they weren't sure if this project was ever going to be released. Chris shared extensively, again, how this project came about and the amazing work behind the scenes. And that's what you're going to see and hear in the interview. And hopefully at some point we can maybe get Tal involved because she was the catalyst for bringing Chris to this project. I have been very involved, not only with following Prince in all of the amazing work that he's done over the years, but knowing that this album itself and these two young people who had the opportunity to play with him are really at the forefront of an amazing project that he created, wrote, and he wanted to do something completely different. And that's what he did with this project. If you have not heard it or got your copy, I would encourage you. It's a little expensive, but it is worth it. It's nothing like Prince has ever recorded before. So you get a chance to not only hear and see and hear the music that he's created, but the messages that are behind this Welcome to America project. He absolutely had the time of his life with putting this band together, as well as those who were involved behind the scenes. I've had the opportunity to see and read several really good articles written about this project, one in the Esquire magazine and one that was published in one of the other music online magazines that talked about the behind the scenes efforts that were going on from 2010 when this project was actually being recorded. And what Chris shared with me was really interesting because, he's being sponsored by Sonar Drums, and we're so proud of him. And I know that his dad and mom and his sister, they are just marveling, as well as our entire Coleman family, with the amazing efforts that he has and accomplishments that he has made in his drumming career, playing all over the world with a lot of major artists, and how important it has been for him to learn the craft. And as he and I had talked about this, because every time he talks about sitting on his uncle's lap, I go back to when we were with the Brothers Three, my twin brother Ron, my brother Hurley, when I came off the road out of a show band and came back to Saginaw. I'd been touring with a great show band called Cinnamon, and the artists and the musicians that were playing with me, Angel, Booney, Kamara, Billy, and Dave, who's on bass. But in particular with Booney Daughtery, who was another drummer from Saginaw, the Daughtery family. Tremendous musicians. His big brother Danny was an amazing guitarist who played with a number of James Brown, all of the bands coming out of Saginaw and playing on the Detroit scene. Danny was just such an amazing player. And to have Danny play with us, and I had the opportunity several times to have Danny on stage with me, Chris on stage, Booney on bass, and with the other band that I created with Prevention Entertainment, really providing positive music with a choice. And with that, it became so important to not only focus on the musicianship, But we talked about the things that Chris learned early on in his drumming career with practicing, and that he did every day, all day when he had the opportunity. And that has paid off for him in tremendous, tremendous ways. And it's something that, as he looked back at all of the things that Chris has been able to accomplish, he has not taken it for granted. Knowing that he's been very blessed with our family, my father, who was a pastor of a church as a singer, and my mother, who played piano, was a stay-at-home mom, and after number 5, but we're in the middle of 10, my twin brother and I. And it's so great to see this third generation of musicians and talent that has come from the family that has now really taken it to another level. And one of the things that I always love to do, and I tease Chris about this all the time, because when you look at all three of us, you got triplets going on here. That's me on the left, and Chris in the middle, and his dad Ron, my twin brother, on the right. We've had so much fun with not only watching each other, but also as parents watching our children blossom into this amazing art world of musicianship and entertaining. Because my daughter Brittany, who's also an actress and plays multiple instruments, who was on Broadway and just finishing, as we're going to tape with this, she just finished up Camelot and playing Guinevere for the 4th time in the production out in the Hamptons. And in November, she's coming back to Broadway. She's a part of Company with Patti LuPone starting, and a number of other great artists and actresses. I can't wait to see that show. But also Chris's sister, Christy, who was another singer and performer. She has had such a great time. And when we put together, I actually had the opportunity to be a part of a band that Chris put together to play a Christmas concert for Christy. And this band, wow, these fellas who were all a part of Chris's circle. The keyboard player, who's a music director that came in out of Los Angeles. Deacon, who's an amazing bass player, playing with a number of major bands. He also sat in with Tower Power on bass behind Rocco, who unfortunately we lost recently. And the Tower Power band has influenced all of us. If you're not a fan of Tower Power, I'm checking to see what's happening, because that foundation we talked about a lot. Chris, as well as my children, were and Chris's sister Christy, because my twin brother and I played a lot of Tower Power when we were in a show band in college, and it was something that Earth, Wind and Fire, Tower Power, all of those big bands, but had great music, great vocals that influenced our music. And now moving into gospel, which is what's so important for all of our family members because of being raised in the church. PKs have this special, unique connection with gospel music. But that night of the concert, we had a blast. This is Christy as she was singing one of the many songs after the band opened up and warmed up the audience on that cold, chilly night. But we had a lot of fun, and we're so proud of her and can't wait, because part 2 of this with the family will be connecting up with a show with Christy and my daughter Brittany. And eventually we'll also feature a spot with other nieces and nephews. My other niece Brandy, she's got a single coming out soon that she's producing. But we have so much talent in all of these young people who are 3rd generation Colemans and Chapmans, part of the Chapman family, which is where my mother, her sister, Christine Chapman, had her own big band in the 40s and 50s. And I was one of the fortunate ones, as I was touring, to get to spend some time with her there in Jackson, Tennessee. We just recently did a featured article with Blues and Rhythm magazine, and I hope to do a special on that, because that was such an eye-opener, just doing the history of her music. And I had 19 of the recordings that she's featured on from around the world. And I'm going to be producing a remake of those songs with our family. So Christine Chapman, who was known as the Boogie Woogie Queen, she played during the 40s, the late 40s and 50s, and she played with Lena Horne and all of the big jazz band greats at that time. She was right in the heart of that, playing 13 instruments in her own orchestra, as well as with Hank Ballard and Gene Ammons, all of these great musicians. So this trickle down of music in our family has just been amazing to not only be a part of, but also to be a big part of who we are and what we do as a family. But one thing that I cannot make sure that I forget is to say hi to Miss Lottie Coleman, Chris's mom. She is also, as I talked with my twin brother and Chris, growing up just like I did, with beating on everything that was available, pots and pans. So as Chris was growing up, he had drums in the garage, but he started in the kitchen and moved to to drums in the garage in his bedroom, then to high school, and then to Drummers Collective and beyond. But our wives, Phyllis and Lottie, have been just amazing for both Ron and I and our children. And this is something that I cherish, with being able to not only share with Chris, but also with Lottie and my wife Phyllis, because there's nothing like growing up as a twin. And when we talk to Chris, as well as Christy and my daughter Brittany, and I'm going to get Alex, my son, involved as well, and we're going to have them share with you what it's like growing up with a set of twins as fathers and uncles. Something that we really cherish, something that we really enjoy being a part of. But as we look at this process with this album, this double album set, and I've had a chance to not only hear and play all of the music on this project, it is a flashback of an era of time for Prince to write this amazing music that fits today's time. Now, this came out and they recorded this in 2010. Chris was so excited. I got a call from him while he was in the studio recording. And one of the things that I found amazing listening to this project is that Prince really was talking about today and the things that are going on around us and the impact. When you read and hear the stories that Prince never had a cell phone. He used everybody else's. He didn't believe in his cell phone. I was really surprised to read that, but I understood he was so embraced in music and what he was giving back. We played a lot of his music over the years, and when he first hit the scene, that Minnesota sound, that unique sound that Prince evolved, there was a lot of electronics and electronic drums. First time you heard a lot of that. Not only did he play a lot of the instruments, but he wrote just an incredible amount of music. And as I'm sure, based on what's coming out of the vault, as they found this project that was completed, that there's a lot of other music that we're all going to hear, and being able to share from the amazing vault of Prince. And I am, one of the things for me as a drummer, and knowing that Chris had the opportunity to flourish and really hone his craft going to Drummers Collective, and the people that he has worked with, being sponsored by Sonar Drums and Mendel Cymbals. He's got his own stick bag now and a drum pad. And it was funny, I was in Philadelphia at Sam Ash Music, and where I actually had purchased one of my set of drums from, visiting, being there with family. And one of the Mendel Cymbals representatives was in the store as I was talking with the guys that I've got a chance to know and meet there in the store. And as I was talking with them, and they mentioned Chris's name, and they said, yeah, Chris's uncle's in the room. He's over at the drum section. Because I always enjoyed just sitting in with them and kind of jamming there at the store. And he came over and he was just shocked. Not only when after he saw me, he says, my God, Chris does look just like you. And I said, well, Chris has my twin brother as his dad. So yeah, we probably all do look alike, the three of us. And that's true from the picture that you just saw moments ago. But this young man who was putting up new cymbals and sharing, he had just left being with Chris and at a project in Mexico, I believe, New Mexico. I believe he stated that he had just left Fisk, and he was talking about the cymbal line coming up. And you can see from some of the new videos that are out that Chris has published with the cymbal company, he has his own cymbal line now. And some of the things that he has shared with us, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that when you see the full segment playing with Beck and Chaka Khan and George Duke, David Sanborn, all of these artists that he's played with, but also recorded with. They're very particular about their sound, particularly Beck. I understand that Chris went through a lot of cymbals to get that sound that Beck wanted from the many albums and the productions that he's been involved with. But one of the things for me as being not only Chris's uncle and being a drummer, uh, I had a chance to do something with him that I had not done in a long time, and that was do some of the woodshedding that we would do when he was really young. And I want to share some of that with you. This is Chris and I on snare, and I used to call this snare tips. And we had two sets of sticks and our snare drum, and we would just practice and play together.
That was tight.
All right. All right.
I always enjoy doing that, seeing that clip. We had a lot of fun that day. But you can tell that we have had such an amazing, blessed opportunity as a family to not only play great music together, and I'm so excited about the future projects that we're all going to be working on with our family. But this interview that we're going to do with Chris, and I'm hoping that maybe, as I talk with him, with doing one additional segment to see if we could get Tal Winkfield, the bass player, the two remaining who were a part of this amazing project with Prince, and playing on this project with him, and those two individuals that had the opportunity to be a part of this amazing recording project that has just been released. Prince, welcome to America. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to actually having some more good time with this project and all of the things that we're going to be seeing and doing here at the Prevention Corner. We want you to stay tuned.